If your pepper plants are starting to lean or flop over, then you need to watch this. So a heavy pepper harvest is great, but if you don't offer some support to the plants, there's a good chance you're going to snap branches or even the whole plant off if you're not careful. Hey guys, Rick Stone here from Stony Acres Gardening. Welcome to my channel today. We're going to be talking about staking peppers in containers. And this is a little bit different for me. For those of you that don't know, we sold our house in January hoping that we would have something by March or April. Here it is, middle of July, and we still haven't found a place, although we are zeroing in on one, so hopefully that'll work out. And so this year, instead of growing in ground like I normally do, my peppers are all in containers. So most years is what I do with my either in-ground or raised bed peppers is I just use the big square tomato cages. We put those in early in the season, let the peppers grow up in between them, and that gives them all the support they need. Well, those cages are too big for the 5-gallon containers that I have for all of my peppers. So we're not able to use those this year. And then I was also worried they're pretty tall. I was worried about them making the containers a little bit top heavy. So I had to come up with a different solution. I did a bunch of different research, kind of all over the internet, and decided that is what I was going to do is use these bamboo stakes. So I bought some 48-inch bamboo stakes. Little bit overkill maybe on the height for peppers. Most of my peppers usually only get about 3 foot tall, but you'll see that it's actually going to work out okay. And then I bought these thinking, you know, when we get into our new garden, I'll have these bamboo stakes that I can use for other trellising options, and we'll go back to the cages for the peppers. So here's why we need to make sure we support the pepper plants. And a lot of times people overlook supporting pepper plants because, I mean, I visit peppers. Just the other day, we were at a community garden and there were a bunch of pepper plants, people growing peppers, and they were all about this tall with 4 or 5 peppers on them. Well, yeah, of course, those little scrawny plants don't need a lot of support. But when you get plants that are healthy and are doing well like mine are, they're going to need some support as they get taller. Ultimately, by the end of the season, I would imagine that these peppers are going to be about this tall, and so they're going to need support. We have a lot of wind in this area. In fact, right over here, it's between the houses, and there's this breeze that just blows through here all the time, and I'm worried that we're going to snap these pepper plants off if we don't do it. And then the weight from the peppers can do the same thing as they weigh the plant down, especially as we get later in the season and those peppers get ready to harvest. So that's why we need to do it. The materials that I'm going to use for my pepper staking here in my containers are just these 48-inch bamboo stakes that I bought, you know, just at a nursery. Bought a bunch of them so that I've got them. We're going to also use this fun little product that I just discovered, okay? So this is called, it's velcro, and it's velcro garden ties. Comes in a big roll like this. I've cut some about 3.5-inch pieces that we're going to be using to actually secure the plants, and it just velcros to itself, and we'll be able to secure the plants to the stake using that, and that should give them all the support that they need. The nice thing about these are you can cut them to the length that you need, and they're reusable, so we can use them as many times as we want. Year after year, I'll just hang on to these and we'll be able to use them for a bunch of different applications. So seems like a fun product. I'm not endorsing it or anything yet because this is the first time I've used it. The other nice thing is that it makes them adjustable. So if I need to go in later in the season, stems have gotten bigger or something like that, as long as I've given myself plenty of slack, we should be able to adjust and change the support with these as well. So that is what I'm doing. The other thing that I might suggest that you do, I'm worried that one stake with some of these plants, I mean, you can see this one's nice and healthy. It's just starting to set fruit. A couple here in the back have a little bit more fruit on them. I'm a little bit worried as the season goes on that they might need some additional support out here with the branches, and that those peppers might need some support. So that's part of the reason why I bought some extras, because I could add a couple more to the container and then run a little jute string in between them to give them that extra support they need as the season goes on. All right, so how am I going to do this? We want to put these stakes in as deep as we can get them so that it gives them plenty of stability. So these pots are about 8 inches deep. So again, that's part of the advantage of getting a little bit taller stake like this. Instead of doing like a 24 or a 36-inch stake, we did the 48 so that we've got a little bit of extra height. And we're just going to go in here close to the plant. We want to be about an inch, inch and a half away, and we're just going to push that down all the way to the bottom of the container. That'll get it as stable as we can get it. That should help to increase the stability. And then we're just going to go through with our little Velcro strips, and we're going to put the main stem, attach that main stem to the stake using these strips. So one thing that you want to make sure you don't do is we're not looking to we don't want to cinch them right up to the plant. They still need some room to flex and breathe and everything like that, if that makes sense. So especially when that wind's blowing, we want that to be there for support, but we also don't want them to be like completely tight against the stake. So we'll just go here, and it looks like for this size, we're going to be okay for this for right now. This one is going to do the main support, and then as this plant gets bigger, we'll go ahead and support that a little bit more. But see, that now gives us some stability against the wind, helps us that we'll be able to keep the weight of that fruit up. So, and then like I say, if we need to later on, we could add another stake or two kind of in a triangle shape, and then take some of this jute and run the jute between to support some of those branches as the plants grow. And that will kind of depend. These will probably get that way, and they'll probably need a little support. I've got some other hot pepper plants that don't get as bushy and big, and so they may or may not need that additional support, but that gives us that option as well. So there you go. That is what I am going to do to support my peppers in containers this year. For those of you that are container gardeners a little bit more consistently than I am, I'm really interested to know what you have done. I looked at a bunch of different options, decided because we're probably not going to be consistently growing peppers in containers that this would be the best option, because then I'll be able to reuse the stakes and the Velcro for other things in my garden later on. But I'd really be interested, for those of you that are kind of long-term container gardeners, what do you use to support your peppers in your containers? So let me know down in the comments below. And before we go, make sure that you check out the Gardening Academy. That is our monthly membership service. It is a great way to support us here at Stony Acres Gardening. We grow great gardeners in the Gardening Academy, and we would love to have you come and join us. I think you're going to love it. There's a link down in the description you can click on to go check us out. All right, that's all I have for this week. Everybody have a fantastic week. Happy gardening.